If you want to learn how to create a deep, intimate connection with your spouse, then keep watching, because in this video, you might learn something that will seriously stir up some romance with your partner tonight. How's it going, YouTube? Brad Browning here with another marriage advice video. And like I said, I'm going to be talking about strategies that you can employ right now to try to respark some passion that may be missing in your marriage. Now, I've said this before in some other videos, and I'll say it again, but it's totally normal and natural for the passion and intimacy to fade over time. And when this happens, some couples freak out, and they start to think that their relationship is getting stale and boring. But in order to combat this, you need to replace that excitement and romance with a stronger, deeper emotional bond. And if you don't do this, don't be surprised if your marriage slowly begins to wither away. But there's good news. There are things that you can do right now to make sure that that spark in your marriage remains alive and build a deeper connection with your spouse than you've ever had before. So without further ado, here's a quick list of proven tips to reignite that deep intimacy in your marriage. Number 1, spend some time apart. Maybe you've heard the saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Well, this is totally true, and it's just as true when it comes to building a deep emotional bond with your partner. It's incredibly important for your husband or wife to have separate hobbies, separate friends, and just life in general. And you could use these things to allow each other to have some much needed breathing room. Now, I know this might be hard if you're both working from home or if you have kids, but you need to try to do your best to make sure that your partner has their alone time and that you do as well. After spending some time apart, I guarantee that you'll want to be with your spouse 10 times more and vice versa. And that could very well translate into more intimacy, more romance, and sexual attraction if it's done correctly. Number 2, use your words to communicate deeply and emotionally. Just saying I love you isn't enough sometimes. I mean, after you've said this 1,000 times to your partner, it sort of loses its effect. So what you need to do instead is to be specific when describing what you love about your spouse. So instead of just saying I love you, say something like, I love the way I feel in your arms, or I've always loved how your eyes looked at night. Now, I know, it might sound cheesy when I say this to you right now in this video, but if you find the right time to drop one of these lines, it can really increase the intimate connection between you and your spouse. Number 3, go on an adventure. It's important to keep things interesting with your partner. So be adventurous and try new things. Go to a cooking class, a painting class, or a music class. Maybe do something really fun and active. Or if you really want to be bold, get out with your spouse and go skydiving or something like that. Boredom is a cold-blooded killer of passion, so if you and your spouse are always doing the exact same thing day in and day out, don't be surprised if the romance in your marriage vanishes. If you stay adventurous, you'll keep things spicy and exciting. Number 4, do small gestures for your partner. If they're tired, bite the bullet and take care of all the house chores. Take out the garbage, feed the kids, and do whatever you need to so that your partner can relax. And don't make a big deal out of it, just do it. I promise your partner will notice it and they will appreciate it. And these small gestures will eventually add up, and your partner will be far more receptive to any romantic advances that you'll make. Number 5, stop judging your spouse. If you're constantly passing judgment and belittling your partner, you'll push them further and further away from you. And this will obviously impact your love life with him or her. Remember, you married your spouse for some very good reasons, and it's important not to take him or her for granted. Of course, no relationship is ever perfect, but if you're constantly honing in on small imperfections, you'll do a lot more damage than you will do good. And once this starts to negatively, impact your sex life, your relationship may start a slow spiral downhill. And number 6, try and see your spouse through the eyes of someone else. Now, this is going to sound weird when I say this, but there are going to be some people out there that are far more attracted to your partner than you are. But now that that awkwardness is out of the way, let me tell you what I mean by this. You see, when you meet someone new, it's exciting and you're far more willing to overlook their flaws, even though they obviously have a few that you probably haven't discovered yet. So try and put yourself in the position of someone that's never met your partner before, and then try to pick out all the good characteristics that he or she has. Or better yet, remember what it felt like when you first met your spouse. I guarantee you that you'll feel better and more attracted to your spouse after doing this very simple mental exercise. And just a quick reminder that while this video is jam-packed with great tips, but if you want the complete guide to making your husband or wife swoon all over you, then head on over to marriageguy.com and watch that video on there. It's a complete how-to guide, and I guarantee that you'll learn a ton about connecting deeply with your spouse. Again, the URL is marriageguy.com, and you can watch that one right after this video is over. Okay, and on to number 7, stop thubbing. And what does thubbing mean, you ask? Well, it means you're snubbing somebody in favor of your phone. Now, almost half of people in relationships say that thubbing is a problem in their relationship. So instead of thubbing your partner, put your phone away. In fact, most phones have a do not disturb feature that you can easily turn on and off. So when you're spending quality time with your spouse, just turn your notifications off. It's easy to do, and your partner will appreciate that you're willing to put 100% of your focus and attention on them. And this, in turn, will translate to a deeper connection and more intimacy. Number 8, get in shape. Now, this is one that's pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to get into the reasons why it's a good thing, but just focusing a little bit of time on your body every day is going to help your spouse and make them a lot more attracted to you. Number 9, make time for what they find important. So if your partner likes bird watching and they want you to join them, try your best to be there for them, even if it's not your thing. This has been studied by marriage psychologists, and it's called being able to turn into your spouse. In contrast, turning away from your spouse means that you're not willing to engage in your partner's interests, and this destroys intimacy. So make sure that you do try to spend some time with your partner doing only what they want once in a while. Number 10, improve your spouse. Have the goal of helping your spouse become a better person every single year. Do they have fitness goals, work goals, school goals? Help them get there and be their number one fan. Because the more you grow together, the closer you both get and the deeper the connection you'll have. And most of the time, a deeper connection means a better sex life as well. Number 11, speak their love language. Now, I think I've talked about this in depth in some of my other marriage videos, so if you're interested in this, then I highly recommend you check them out right after this video. But basically, this is based on Gary Chapman's 5 love languages, and they're gift giving, quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, and physical touch. Now, every person has their own love language or their preference in how they want to be treated. Some people like physical touch, others like receiving gifts. And in order for your marriage and sex life to thrive, you'll need to speak your spouse's love language. Again, I cover this far more in depth in my other video, so check that one out right after this at marriageguy.com. Number 12, get help. If you think you've tried literally everything on this list and nothing has worked, consider marriage counseling. Talking to a certified marriage counselor could help you get over whatever intimacy problems that you might have with your spouse. However, there are actually other solutions that are far cheaper and in some ways far better as well. So you can consider enrolling in my personal marriage coaching program. For one, it is far more affordable than going to a marriage counselor. And 2, you can start getting my help today without your spouse's participation or knowledge. Yes, I mean, there are certain things that you can do right now on your own that would have a meaningful impact on how your partner perceives you. So if you're interested in my personal coaching program, head to marriageguy.com/coaching. Just head over to that page and see how it works and how you can sign up. And that just about does it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just hit me up in the comments section below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks so much for watching.